Hello everyone. Welcome to weekly Slop. I want to make a video every week. Just an unedited, off-the-rip video. It's either going to be like a Destiny dungeon solo, or it's just going to be a Minecraft video. And I want to do it just like, you know, off the cuffs. Today, I'm going to be doing Prophecy, obviously, because it's Pinnacle. Here is the build, for anyone wondering. Here's a subclass. Solar Hunter. Not many great ways to be explosive, but they have many ways to survive. That's very awesome. We have mods right over here. And for this run, just because it's solo, I'm going to be running Queen's Foil Sensor, because I feel like that's just necessary for any sort of solo content. Usually, I would run this artifact, because Elemental Supercharger's just broken as hell. Broken. So worth it that I'd run this on a solo build. Anyways, this boss is kind of a pushover, honestly. So I wanted to talk about how Project Hail Mary is genuinely one of the greatest shows to have ever been invented. Not shows, one of the greatest movies or stories to have ever been invented. I also reloaded my thing at the wrong time. But, huh. What's going on, huh? You guys need to chill for a little bit. So, I love Project Hail Mary. So much so that it's got me reading the book. Could you guys imagine? Something so good that it's got you reading the book? I mean, like, when's the last time you read a book? Think about it for a second. When is the last time you read a book? Like, genuinely and unironically, when is the last time you read a book? I'm sure the answer is, like, not very recently. Well, that's if you're, like, you know, around my age or younger. I bet, like, people older than me read books all the time, perhaps. Who knows? Alright. So, yeah, it's literally got me reading the book because of just how great the movie was. Originally, I watched the movie. I pirated it, first off. Let me just make that clear. And this was while it was still in theaters, because, you know, I was on my movie marathon. I was watching a bunch of movies. My personal recommendations, I liked Last Holiday. It's where the 17 Black meme comes from. It's about this woman who gets diagnosed by this doctor that she's going to die in like 2 weeks because of a giant tumor in her brain. And she's so devastated, she doesn't know what to do. So she decides, you know what? I'm gonna go out with a bang. So she takes out all of her savings, like literally all of her savings, and then she takes it and she goes on a trip. She goes on a trip to, what was it? I forget which place she went to, but it was to meet a chef that she looked up to. And that's why it's called Last Holiday, because it's like, you know, kind of in a sense her just having a last hurrah before, you know, succumbing to the tumor. I thought it was a really cool show, a really cool movie. It was wholesome. It had good vibes. It had a feel-good ending too. I love movies like that. I love movies that are feel-good, just family-friendly, and have like awesome endings, or like feel-good endings. It had some really funny parts too. I like comedy movies as well. I also liked Radio. I think it was what was it, 2014 radio? I'm not sure. It's the radio about the football fan. It's about this guy who's like, okay, I'm trying to think of a way to word this that isn't going to get me in a lot of trouble. He's he's on the spectrum, let's just say, and he he's on the spectrum, and let's just say he leans towards one side quite a lot. Okay, never mind. I was just being really stupid. So, yeah. Radio is about this guy who's on the spectrum, like, very heavily. And he's a football fan. He absolutely loves football. It's about this one coach who just takes him in and just, you know, tries to be as accommodating as possible. I don't really know how to explain the plot other than that. It's just about this kid and this coach. The kid's like, you know, really handicapped in certain ways. I thought it was pretty cool. But anyways, after watching those movies, Project Hail Mary was next on my list because everyone was talking about it. Like every single science YouTuber you could think of. Hank Green, freaking Vsauce was probably talking about it. Like literally everyone was talking about it. So I was like, well, I mean, this shit gotta slap, right? So I pirated it, I watched it, and I thought, oh my goodness. When the... Should I spoil it? Okay, when the scene comes up where Dr. Ryland Grace was like, I'm having a moment right now. Oh my gosh. That was something else. That was probably like one of the greatest scenes I've ever watched in the history of watching movies and shows. And it actually convinced me to watch it on the movie theaters. So I think within the next week or so. Oh my gosh. That was so loud. I'm so sorry. So within like the next week, I convinced my sister to go watch the movie with me in theaters because I wanted to watch that scene on the big screens. And oh my days. Whew. Otherworldly, perhaps. I mean, like, otherworldly doesn't even begin to describe it. That shit was... Whew. If you guys have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But, like, that movie is something else, man. Something else. Really enjoyed it. In fact, I enjoyed Project Hail Mary so much that, first off, I read the book, and as you guys might have pieced together, I watched the movie twice. I pirated it, and I watched it on the big screen. And again, just the other day, I organized a watch party with my friends. I watched it for a third time. We're up to 3 now. And then the next day, someone who had missed the watch party was like, hey, can you do midnight this time? He said that like kind of half jokingly. But then I was like, dude, screw it. I will rewatch it. You think I'm joking? I will rewatch it. So I rewatched it for the 4th time. We are, ladies and gentlemen, I have watched the movie 4 times. Not to mention that I'm reading the book right now. Project Hail Mary is just so awesome. It really... Oh, you know what? A really good way to explain it is like, if you guys have watched Interstellar, there's this really funny video that this YouTuber Al Jokes he made. He was like, I wish if I had one wish, it would be that I would forget I ever watched Interstellar. And then he makes that wish in the skit, and then he looks at his phone and it's like, watch Interstellar. And that was like the punchline of the movie, or the skit. God, that's what I felt like watching Project Hail Mary. It was like I had never... It was like experiencing watching Interstellar for the first time again. Like, I couldn't believe it. The show was... Not the show. I keep on saying show. I don't know why. The movie was just so good. And this is a... this was like... Yeah, after a couple of, you know, feel-good movies I had watched. But this is also after, like, a couple of pretty bad shows I watched. One of them being the show From. Now, hear me out. The show From, first season, phenomenal. First season was phenomenal. I loved the first season of From. I thought it was like such a unique idea. It was perfect horror. Like, I felt at the edge of my seat after every episode. But then they decided to release 4 seasons of it. So, you know, feeling the whiplash of watching something actually good after experiencing the show From, like, goodness gracious. And I mean, like, the show From as in, like, after season 1. Because season 1 From was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was really good. So yeah. Oh, dude, I just collected light mode. Okay, hold on. Jeez. Where's the dark? Did you just drop the notes? I mean, you know, the author, Andy Weir. So the one thing to know about him is that he was also the author of the book The Martian, the movie with Matt Damon in it. So this guy, Andy Weir, he actually just might be the GOAT, now that I think about it. Because he's, for both The Martian and Project Hail Mary, he was the author and he was the screenwriter, I think. I'm pretty sure he was the screenwriter for both movies and both books. Which is crazy that this one guy is... And like, he touts himself... He touts his books as, like, being some of the most scientifically accurate books... the most scientifically accurate sci-fi books. And I think that's just something so admirable. It's not very clear in the movie for Project Hail Mary, but once you get to reading the books, oh boy, it gets in depth. Like, it gets in depth. Like, we explore... God. You know what? Screw this, bro. If you haven't watched Project Hail Mary, boo-hoo. Shame on you, buddy. You should watch it earlier, when it was still in theaters. They explain how the astrophage actually stores their energy. There's just a 2-page explanation about just on how astrophage stored their energy. I mean, like, I briefly glanced over it, but like, it's this phenomenon. Not phenomenon. I'm not sure how to explain it. Something neutrinos, really good at storing energy, but it has to be like at a perfect resting temperature, right? And it's explained in the books that resting temperature is 97.6 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it's just really, really well thought out and well researched. Because not because I'm just making a statement. It's really well thought out and researched. Like, even in the acknowledgements tab, there's like a bunch of scientists just listed in the book that says a huge shout out and a thank you to this and this guy for helping me get the information in this book as scientifically accurate as possible. It was really awesome seeing that. It was really awesome seeing someone so dedicated to making sci-fi so realistic. Now, that is not to say, you know, obviously, for the movie versions, they don't have... Hold on, I have the book right next to me. Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir. The book is 476 pages long. Obviously, a, you know, Hollywood-style movie on the big screen, even when they have like 3 hours to work with, they just don't have enough time to explore all of the topics that was in the book. So, you know, obviously they omit a lot of information. And because, you know, a book is a different environment than a movie, there's also like constraints within the medium. What I mean by that is, for example, when Dr. Ryland Grace meets Rocky for the first time, they actually talk in zero gravity for a very long time. In the movie, it was like this immediately after they met. They you know, immediately after they met, they decided to, you know, match their ship's centrifuges so that they could talk in the tunnel with gravity. Now, this is just my theory. I'm not sure if this is actually true, but I'm pretty sure they did it like that in the movie because it's just easier to film with gravity than with zero gravity. You know, budget constraints and stuff. So like they just decided to make it so that Rocky and Grace always talked in normal gravity, right? At least that's what I think. So, you know, there are time constraints, there are, you know, medium constraints. So a tiny bit of stuff gets lost in the mix. Not to say that's like necessarily a bad thing, of course. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't really necessarily know where I was going with this. I mean, yeah, between the book and the movie, there's a lot of information omitted, right? Like that whole thing with Dr. Locken. In the movie, like she made like a 10-second appearance talking about the centrifuge, right? In the book, oh my gosh, bro, she has like a much more involved role in the book. Like, first off, she has a name. It's Dr. Locken. You know, and all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely think that if you are familiar with Project Hail Mary, or any of Andy Weir's books, or even Interstellar for that matter, you should read the book. You have to. You simply have to. It's just incredible. Like, I think it's been maybe even double-digit years since I've read a book. Like, seriously, since I've seriously read a book. That's actually a pretty good role. This is also a really good role. But yeah, I think it's been almost double-digit years since I've seriously read a book. And to think that Project Hail Mary was the one to get me to do it. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, I used to be a huge bookworm back in middle school. But to be fair, that's because, like, you know, when I was in middle school, that was... How did that get Reaper's Tithe 2? I killed 4 people. Did you not see? Oh my god. Whatever, bro. But I did used to be a huge bookworm back in middle school. It's all dark. Are you kidding me? The main reason I stopped was because the books kind of got boring. Or at least the books that I was aware of. Like, this was back when Diary of a Wimpy Kid was still in its, you know, still in its popular phase. And like, you know, after it got to book 13, it got a little bit stale. Let's be real, guys. It got a little bit stale. Like, it started getting stale after like 6, man. I don't know. But yeah, the main reason I stopped reading books was just I couldn't find any interesting ones, and I don't think I ever looked back, honestly. You know, and on the topic about the, on the topic of going with my sister, she loved the movie too. I mean, like, for me personally, every single scene, bro, every single scene, just amazed at the imagery, the screenplay, just shedding a tear at all the right moments. Oh my days, man. That shit was awesome. Oh, let me try and get. There we go. Reaper's Tide, right? Alright, cool. We have it on ×3. Yeah, absolutely loved the movie. My sister did too. For her birthday, I actually got her the book. On top of like a couple of other things she liked. And like $20, of course. Anyways, Truth should just nuke this guy. I got one more magazine. Oh, I got one more rocket for you. Oh, that heavy brick did indeed just fall out of this guy. That's not very good. Okay, so here's what I can do. I actually do not know what I can do. I think I can just spam this. That's pretty much the best I can do. Oh, you know what? Let me try... Hold on. Let me try just doing this. Okay. Collect this. Get my restoration up. And I think if I kill these two guys... Alright, let me just do this. There we go. Alright, awesome. Cool little solo flawless, I guess. But yeah, if you somehow have not watched or read Project Hail Mary, you definitely should, I think. Let's just check out these rolls. Oh! And his health stat. You know, I can't even be mad. 3 out of the 4 drops were pretty good. Well, I guess that's all. Time, 23 minutes. Here are the kills. Precision kills, orbs created. All that. I'll see you later, I guess.